Welcome to Troubleshooting. This is Carmen Cernuska for the University of New England. The Superior Care Health Group e-prescribing system has had 3 errors as listed on screen. This causes problems for the clinical team as they have to call the pharmacy directly to get the prescription to be completed. This is time-consuming and not satisfying for the team, as previously it was only a few clicks to get the prescription ordered. In order to try and fix the errors, the system configuration has been altered and the vendor has been contacted. Regrettably, the changes to the system have not improved it, and the only contact available from the vendor was the sales associate, as opposed to the tech support branch of the company. As a side note, in future, when systems are being purchased, there should always be a team approach so that members of the tech support team are easily reachable for times like this. In order to try and solution this issue, we must look at the error codes that are appearing. Do you recognize these codes? Do you have the knowledge, skills, ability, and judgment to work on these error codes? If not, then possibly you should consider reaching out to someone else. It would appear from the information provided that the person who attempted to fix the solution actually made the situation worse. One must always recognize their limitations. So just as a patient who presents to the emergency department, the problem must be documented concisely but completely. The error codes are important information for the person or persons working on the solution. Also, information about what the end user was doing when the error occurred is helpful to narrow down what might be causing the errors. Pictures of the screens with the error codes on them is useful, as well as any other information, such as what they did when they encountered this error. Did they just shut down the program? Or maybe they tried to send it again. If the users do not know the system well enough, they could be causing the errors themselves. The first error appears to be giving a script error related to PVD format. Did they try to open or download a file that requires recognition of the PVD extension? The second and third errors are procedural errors relating to a Schedule 1 medication that is not allowed and a medication that is not in the formulary. Schedule 1 medications can be dangerous to the patient and possibly based on other information contained in the record. This patient may not be allowed to have this medication, whereas the not in formulary code could lead one to believe that the pharmacy simply does not carry that medication. Or it could just be one medication which is not in the formulary and is also a Schedule 1. What else? Maybe the other information provided by the prescribers might lead down other paths. Look at all leads and ensure that everything is checked into. Can we go to the team and complete the steps again? By watching them, you may be able to see where they went wrong. You can also ask questions about why they made the decisions they did, which may help narrow down the problem. All of this information will help get the picture, because once you solve the problem, you have to figure out how to ensure it doesn't happen again. If they can show you what file they were trying to open or work with, you can assess whether the PVD file extension is the problem. Inquire about the medications they were trying to prescribe and the patient's comorbidities and allergies. This may bring you to the final answer. Ask the prescriber to see the patient's allergies and health history flags, and maybe the provider can look at the medications they were attempting to prescribe. Are they Schedule 1? Are they in the formulary? The prescriber went back into the patient's profile and attempted to order something as a test to the system that would not fall under Schedule 1 and would be available in the formulary. No errors came up. They then moved to a patient's profile who did not have any contraindications to Schedule 1 medications. The prescriber was able to test this and again be successful. It was realized that the issue was with the prescribers not looking at the flags on their patients' profiles, as they had to dig through the record and it wasn't prominently displayed. This work was able to be retested in a sandbox environment with multiple combinations of patient types and medication availability. While doing this, it was realized that the list in the formulary is not easy to locate and requires several clicks to get to it. So the prescribers never look at it, which causes errors. They also wouldn't know that the medication wasn't available. So the education to the team was that if they receive an error relating to not in formulary, they should be double checking their choice, as the pharmacy either doesn't stock it or is out of stock. The error with regard to Schedule 1 should prompt the user to look back at the patient health history to ensure that they actually can have this type of medication. Lastly, if they receive an error with a file extension issue, they should stop what they are doing and ensure the file is compatible with the system. If not, then it may require another process or add-on to make it compatible. In the meantime, this feedback will go to the vendor to see if there are ways to improve the system so that the formulary and flags can be improved upon. Thank you for your time. Here are my references.